Hey everyone, Luxinda Swirl here. We are going to do a combination paint pour resin tray because I want to see what happens. So this will be yet another experiment. We know we can paint acrylic paints into silicone molds, pour resin on top, and the resin will incorporate what you painted on. So I'm going to try pouring paint this time. It should work exactly the same way, but I haven't tried it yet, so let's do that. This is my Wheel of Life resin silicone mold here. You've seen me use it before. It has various, it has the astrological signs, it has moon phases, it has pagan seasons of the year and ritual names and things. So I'm going to use this as my mold. I have picked out a very weird variety of Arteza pouring paints. Ready to go. We're going to use those. I have neon pink, neon yellow, neon green. I've used up all the neon blue, I believe. Oh no, here I have some neon blue. So we've got our neons. I also have a little bit of lavender, carnation pink, and not a full bottle of titanium white. Plus, just because, I'm going to add in some of my own. This is Deco Art Dazzling Metallics in Champagne Gold that I mixed with Floetrol. So I'm going to add a little bit of that into, not a lot. So if this were a canvas, we would do the area in inches divided by 16 to get the amount of paint we need in ounces. That is Mixed Media Girls formula. So the area of this mold is about 104 square inches. Divided by 16, you get 6.2. However, we are not going to be pouring so much paint on that we tilt a bunch of it off like we would with a canvas. That's not the point of this. All the paint will stay in the mold. And if I pour too much, it will all eventually dry anyway, but I'm not trying to create a thick layer of paint here. So I'm going to layer a cup. This is a 10-ounce bowl. I'm going to layer it halfway, so we'll have about 5 ounces. I may stop before I pour all 5 ounces into the mold. And then we'll do a tilt. I'm going to try for a dirty pour tree ring thing, which sort of goes with the whole round concept. And we'll see what we get. And then it'll dry for probably 2 or 3 days. It needs to be completely dry before I put any resin on it, and I'll bring you back. So for you, it'll be instantaneous. You won't have to wait 3 days. Pour some resin on it. Then the next day we'll demold it and we'll see what it looks like. So I'm kind of excited about this. All right, so let's just get going on layering our cup. No particular order, as usual. I'll start with the lavender. I'm going to call it here. I can always add some more into the bowl and do a second pour right in the middle. Let's see how this goes. And now we tilt. Alrighty. Well, that's kind of cool. Get a little muddy around the edges, but that's pretty cool. We're just going to stop here. I'll save the paint that's in the bowl for another time, or another canvas, or another something. A little bit down here. There we go. That's pretty cool. All right, so blink of an eye for you, about 3 days for me. We'll come back and pour resin in here and see what happens. Stay tuned. And we're back. So this has had a couple of days to dry. It is dry. I can touch it. It's not wet. There's nothing sticky, nothing still wet in any way about it. I have been trying to think of what to put in the resin that goes here. What we're pouring, what looks like the top to us here, will end up being the bottom of the tray. I'll turn it over when it's done, and I believe, because I can't see my hand through it when I do this, anything we put in the resin, when you have the tray turned over so the top becomes the paint, you won't be able to see anything in the glitter. So I was originally going to get a chunky out because those tend to be really, really beautiful and sparkly. But the thing with chunkies is all the biggest pieces usually settle to the bottom, and the bottom in this case is right underneath the paint, where you won't be able to see anything. All you'll see from this side, which is going to be the bottom, would be the finer parts of the chunky glitter, and the chunky glitter itself would be hidden by the paint. So I'm going to go with a fine. This is from Southern Glitter Goddess. It is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at that. It's a rainbow. It's called Cosmic Bling, and it sure looks like Cosmic Bling. So this will be throughout the resin, and you will only see it when you turn the tray over, but it will be beautiful on the back. And then the paint will be on the front of the tray, and we will probably end up adding some paint to the front, into the indentations, and letting it dry and wiping it off like we've done before with this tray and other molds. But we'll get to that later. Right now we're going to deal with the resin part. This tray takes about 15 ounces of resin, and you get that from going to, I will link it below. There is a great calculator for resin, and you tell it if you're using a rectangular object, like a mold, or if you're using a cylindrical mold, which this is, and then you give it the, I believe the diameter, maybe it's the radius, I don't know. Either way, give it what it asks for in terms of the circle and how deep it is, and it tells you how many ounces you need. I will link to that calculator below. It's very easy to use. Even though I'm making it sound complicated, it's not. Because this is a tray, I'm going to use our Clear Cast 7050. This is a 2-part to 1-part resin. It's a nice thin viscosity, so it's really easy to mix the bling in and pour it in, and it will not mound. It will just flow to all areas of the tray and sit there and cure overnight, and we'll come back and unmold it and see how it looks. So this is part A, 2 parts of this to 1 part of part B. That's what I'm going to be doing right now, and you can watch. This is a cup I picked up at Dollar Tree. These are great because after the leftover resin in here cures, you can just give it a squeeze and that cracks and pulls right out, and your cup is good to go again. If you have any little bits stuck inside, you can easily pull them out with some tape. And easy to clean, easy to reuse. I like that. So I'm going to gear up and turn on the fans and all that, and you're just going to watch. Enjoy the show. And we're back. So look how pretty the underside is. That's cosmic bling. That is gorgeous. All right, the moment of truth, folks. Did the resin pick up the acrylic pour that we did into the tray mold? Yeah, that looks promising. Look, can you see? It's not on the mold. Yeah, this is exciting. Whoa. Hey, this is exciting. There, that's a little more reserved. Okay, here we go. All the way around. Okay. Now it did pick up the underside of our pour, not the side we looked at when we were pouring, but that's okay. It did stain things a little bit, but the surface is still really beautiful and shiny, so I'm not particularly bothered by that. Look at that. Oh, that is gorgeous. Ooh, it's a little sticky. That's interesting. All right, well, I will not get my fingerprints all over it. It's interesting. It looks like what am I trying to say? It looks like, I don't know if you can see this or not. It looks like in a few spots, some of the glitter came through. Like right here and here, and there's some other little shiny streaks almost. Oh, but that is gorgeous. All right, I'm not going to touch the surface here anymore. I'm going to let it sit for another 24 hours. So I'm going to end this here. I am not going to make you wait until 2 more days go by before I have a chance to paint it and show you the final outcome. Honestly, I don't even know that I need to paint it. I think this is gorgeous as is. I'm trying to give you a full view where you can see it. I'm trying to look in the camera and turn this at the same. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, I think that's gorgeous the way it is, honestly. I'll think on that. But right now, the test worked. What we were testing worked. The acrylic dirty pour we did into the mold ended up being absorbed by the resin that we poured in there on top of it. I think that is stunning. What do you think, folks? Have you done a pour into a mold? You should do it. It's amazing, the outcome. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Thanks, everyone. Stay safe. I will see you in the next video.